Well, I've been trying to educate people in America about all the wonderful programs they have in the government, but people don't know about them. And that's because people go to Google and they try to find money and help to do things in life, on Google. And the problem is that Google is not the community that gives out free money. That's capitalism that wants to be paid for everything. Now, besides capitalism, America has a separate community called the giving community. And this is your neighborhood, your government offices, nonprofit organizations, churches, and everything. And that represents actually a third of everything in our economy. It gives you money, whether it's a business, buy a house, get out of debt, and everything. But you can't find them in Google because they don't advertise. And Google wants to get money from you to pay so people will advertise with them. These people don't advertise and they just want to give money to you. So they have no places they can't spend money on advertising, but they give out an average of $17,000 to $18,000 a year, every year, to every citizen, or not even citizen, everybody living in this country, every adult. That's what they get. So here's the story of how you get it for business. You want to start a business, you want to grow a business, man, there is more money. And that's why the billionaires are now in Washington trying to get even more money. So if you want to start a business, grow a business, or if you have an invention or anything like that, man, the government is the right place to go. And watch this video, and I'll show you exactly who to call, where to call. Don't go to Google, though.
Welcome to another episode of the Franchise Maven podcast, where I help ambitious entrepreneurs and investors find a thriving franchise fit or flip their business into one. And where I also bring on special guests that not only help you with your business, other people who have done businesses themselves and grown it. And today, my special guest is Matthew Lesko. Free money starts here. Matthew is an energetic, passionate advocate with over 50 years of experience helping Americans access billions of dollars in government funding. And I know a lot of you out there have asked me about that. So I finally found someone who can do that sort of thing. So, Matthew, it's an honor and pleasure to have you on today.
Well, you keep that for the end. Maybe you change your mind.
Time will tell.
But no, I've been doing this, 50 years, as you say, and I can't think of anything more important to do in life. So I'm going to do this till I die, man. I mean, what else do we have to do in life except give and help people? And man, to me, if you trying to take care of yourself more, unless you have special problems, but that just becomes a cycle, of think the world is mad at you, and it is. I mean, because none of us are special, and we're all going to get beat up out there, no matter who we are.
Part of life,
So
Matthew. Very true.
we take it so personally that it's huge. No, that's just life and being a human. So how do you get through that stuff? And what we don't equip people with is tell them where the help is and the free help. I mean, there's a lot of help. You go to Google and you'll get 2 billion people that want to help you, but for money. Every one of them want to charge you money. And that's all we know. And what I see the world as is that, okay, that's capitalism. Okay. People have to charge money to do something, and that's what capitalism. But there's people that can't afford that. And so what do we do with them? Leave them on their own? No. We decided as a society, we're going to have a portion of our economy that helps these people. And that now represents a third of everything in our economy is what I call the giving economy. So when you put in the government, nonprofit organizations, that represents 33% of our economy. But nobody knows about it because all we know about is the 66%, the people, the people that want to get your money. So the people who want to give you money, nobody knows. But you tell you the truth, who finds them are the rich people. They're not dummy. And that's how I learned about this. I was helping Fortune 500 companies grow their business, start businesses, and all this kind of stuff. And I was in Washington as a consultant with an MBA, and a gun for hire. And I was finding that I could find all this stuff in Washington. I mean, these programs. And so I charged them thousands and thousands of dollars, to get this stuff, which was really easy. I mean, I'm a kid from a coal mining town in Wilkes-Barre. I didn't know anything about this stuff. And I can see that, man, a schmuck like me from Wilkes-Barre can walk in these offices and get all this information and help and sell it for as much as I could get. Actually, my first book that I wrote, and I was not an author or an English, I flunked most of my English classes, to tell you the truth. And my first book was a New York Times bestseller. I found a book at the government printing office. It's called the Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance. Now you see that, yeah, but if you read the fine print, that's just money galore. And there was 1,500 programs in there at the time, and they'd explain things like, well, the Urban Homesteading Act. That was the title of the program. What the hell is that? I wouldn't. You read the fine print, and what it is programs where the government guarantees mortgages. So when they guarantee mortgages and you don't pay, the bank gets the mortgage that gets the money that you didn't pay from the government. And the government gets that house. And a lot of times they don't know what the hell to do with it and sit somewhere or whatever and goes downhill. And so all of a sudden they give it away. And they give it away for $1. Plus they give you grant money to fix it up. So I would do is go through these programs and say, Urban Homesteading Act, read the details. No, this is houses for $1. Now that excites people, not Urban Homesteading Act. And that's my skill is just seeing what the government has that they don't know about it, or they don't act like, I guess the capitalist society, because they're always trying to sell something. So we always think about, okay, how are we going to get people to know this? And government spends no time on that. They pass the law and they put some, legalese play name on it, to cover their ass if somebody sues them or whatever. And it's 500 people on Capitol Hill deciding what that name should be, and you get a committee that big. You're going to get, nothing of value mostly. But the thing is the value, and the people don't know. So it's really trying to educate. So we just go to Google, and the average person will go to Google, make a few phone calls, and everybody wants to sell them something, and they're actually even afraid to get on the phone, and it's going to keep me busy.
Well, it sounds like it, Matthew. It does. So, what are some other examples of government grants and programs that
Well,
are out there?
yeah, I hear. This is like today I'm writing up on. Applications are due for December 4th for $7,000 to help pay your rent. Get $10,000 for small businesses in LA to get more sales for Christmas. So this is local communities that are helping small business do this. Earn $40,000 a year to train. You get paid $40,000 a year to train for a $70,000 a year job. No degree. I mean, this is probably the biggest bonus we have in every country. So, I mean, every county, every city, every state. Biden puts billions and billions and billions of dollars in this stuff because the biggest problem we have is people without degrees not getting good jobs. And so not only are they eliminate jobs that require degrees, they're investing in training people. So instead of going to a college and paying them $40,000 a year, they're paying you $40,000 a year to get this skill to get a job that'll be 70, 80, $100,000. Yeah. And I just think, boy, that's the best deal. I don't know why people just, because they have to call the government, you have to figure it out and things like that. And I think we're all just basically lazy as humans. So we want it handed to us. And that's the people want your money, we'll hand it to you as long as you give them money.
So, how do you then get involved? Where do you come in all this? When people come to see you, walk
I
us through.
show you where to go because I love telling people where to go. I remember in the school, you got it. Good. And that's it. People don't know where they're going in the wrong place. Now, let me give you a few. We have a few minutes yet, or you got to wrap
Oh,
this
you got
up?
plenty of time. Keep on going, Matthew. We love it. People want to hear
Well,
about it.
here's how to go. You don't need me. Um, and here are the places to start. Go to, are you online? You want to look at these?
No, I
Can
want
you?
you to just tell us about him right now.
You can't go online, and I could amaze you if you want it. If you do another tab. No, okay. You go to
Now,
this one called findhelp.org.
findhelp.org. That's
Right.
easy
Now that's
enough.
.org, but see that's .org. That's the important part. All you want to deal with is .orgs or .gov, which is government. They're the people that give you money. Anybody else in .com wants your money, and no matter how nice they are, whatever, the motive behind them is to get money from you. And that's their job. So you can't blame them. Uh, but you have to be careful. And so that's why when you're looking for help and you have no money, the problem is the people without any money get caught into that and they don't have an option. And so they get sucked into it and they feel that's their only hope in life. And they'll borrow money, steal money, or whatever to give it to these people. And they still won't get what they need. So that's why here's how to get it for free. So you go to findhelp.org and you put in your zip code. And you will see for any zip code you put in, you'll have from 3,000 to 5,000 or more nonprofit organizations and government offices that give help like this for free. And it's on any subject you want. And whether it's like I'm going to put it on mine. Okay, so if I put in findhelp.org, put in my zip code 20009, put in a zip code. Okay. I get 3,500 programs. These are money programs and free services. Okay. And there's tabs here. Do you need free legal help? Okay. You could put on that if you need free legal help. There are 263 organizations that provide free legal help. 260. I don't think your city has that many lawyers, does it?
Not mine, that's for sure.
Right. And for work, there's 139 organizations that give money and help for school, for skills and training, for your rights, knowing your rights in the workforce, or help to pay work expenses, education. Caregivers. I mean, there's dozens of money for caregivers. Money, financial assistance. Listen to this. Okay, this is financial assistance. Just nonprofit organizations that help you pay for childcare, for food, for health care, for housing, pay for school, pay for transit, pay for gas, pay for work. All this. 662 organizations that
Wow.
give out financial assistance in my zip code. Wow. Yeah. The problem is that sounds like a lot, but if you go to Google to do this, you'll get 600 billion. And that's going to throw you for a loop.
Are there
So
any
it's
prerequisites when you're trying to get into these?
every program has a prerequisite, but
Okay.
they're all different. And for low income now, and what surprised me doing this so long, I thought low income, you're living on the street, and don't have a nickel to your name. It's not that anymore. I mean, these programs set up for low income, the real low income problem, like food stamps or something, that's 50 grand or so. So that's not healthcare. I mean, that could be 50, 60, 70 grand. Buying a house, that could be 100, $150,000 income requirement. Childcare, that could be up to $200,000. I mean, it's just crazy. So don't let that bother you. Don't think that you're not eligible. And you may only be eligible for one, but with 600 opportunities, and with all of them have different requirements. See, and that's what's important. People don't realize that. And like you put in rent in my zip code, if I put in rent, you can't pay, you have trouble paying for rent. There's 70 organizations, 70. And see, another problem people will have, okay, I found a rent grant, but they said I wasn't eligible. And then, well, then I'm not eligible for rent grants. No, you're not eligible for rent grants there. You got 69 other places to check. Yeah. And that's the education that we have to give to people, that it isn't just, you know, a one and done, kind of thing. Anything in life. You wouldn't look for a job and go to one place and they're not hiring and say, nobody's hiring. No. The same thing, nobody's giving money out when you ask one place and they're not giving money out.
How about for businesses? Well, business startups, that sort of thing. They do the same thing.
Here's where you go. Here's where you go. Want business, anything with it. And this is where I go all the time when my Fortune 500 clients, I'd go to these offices, get all this information that they could have got for free, but I charge them thousands because they're too lazy. The best place to start, I mean, that's a complicated process too. So that's why what I try to do is show you places that that you could go to that people know a lot about all these sources. So like, findhelp.org. Okay. I mean, there's 5,000 sources. So where do you apply? Well, there's not one little neat place to go, but what requires is you have to find people who know this. That's the best way. So I don't know uh, what your business is or whatever. What do you do?
Franchise consulting. I help people get
Oh,
into
okay.
the world of franchising.
Okay, so franchise. So in other words, if I went out and Googled franchise now, uh, I mean, I'll get a dozen, thousands, and millions of people who will say all this. But talking to you, who've been in the business for a while, you know the best three things to do, kind of thing for that. And that's what you need for government grants. And the thing is that the government pays people to be that, in any area. So for business, for franchise, yes, and they help a lot of franchises. So you want to go to sba.gov/uh, local, LOCAL, dash assistance. So it's sba.gov/local dash assistance. And you go there and put in your zip code, and you'll find, at least from where I am, I got 21 nonprofit organizations that helps anybody with any income start or expand any business, any nonprofit, any invention you want to work on, any freelance assignment you want to do, any work at home scheme you want. All that is for free, and they do that all day long to help people, do that. And that's it. You go to Google, and you'll get consultants that know how to sweet talk you, and they
Hmm.
spend hours and days or whatever. And the problem is, it's too easy to learn what will sell. I mean, when I started up in the business, and I've been doing it 50 years, and direct mail is the way we did advertising. Okay, so to do that, so you know those days. To find if something worked, a headline work or something, man, it'd take you a month or so to find out if that worked or not. You got to do the a brochure and all this kind of stuff, and the mail. Send out the mailing. Takes 2 weeks to get there, and then maybe another week to get some information back. So you're a month or two to get an answer. You go online now, in a second, you could try 50 different items to see what really works. So they get to your pocket a lot easier.
That's what counts. What are some of the biggest misconceptions you found that people have about getting government grants and financial aid?
Well, I think like for a franchise, like sort of like any kind of franchise. Well, first of all, the government, the SBA finances most franchise. And by the way, I don't know if you know, you could find everybody the SBA guaranteed loans for franchises, that's all public information. I used to have a database on my website if you want to know what businesses in your area got government money. So you selling franchises, yeah, you could get that information, get the owner's information and sell them another franchise. They
There you
already
go.
have one, right?
Right on, Matthew.
There's the market study for you. And that's all public information. And the data, uh, what was interesting to me is a lot of like the franchisors. Now, maybe this may not sound kind to you, but there's a lot of franchisees that go out of business because of bad franchises, right? And to me, what I see, that's another abuse of government money because sort of like student loans, if you're a college, you could say, I have a college. Oh, you want to come to my college? Here, you could get a government loan and come to my college. Good or bad. I don't know. The college is good. And so a lot of people did that, particularly these for-profit colleges, and they just didn't get degrees or information, but they got stuck with the loan. So the college got the money, and you got a shitty degree because of a salesman, kind of thing. So I see that's possible in franchises too, because they're borrowing money to pay the franchisor, right, to do it. The franchise goes busted, or they go busted. The person selling the franchise doesn't have to worry; they got the money, right? It's the person responsible for the loan that they paid for that, right? So that's available. See, that's all. And then also, from what I remember, maybe things have changed. There's about 7 or 8 states that franchisors have to register in, and show a lot of, real good information on the franchise, and that's good stuff. So that's another thing. See, where I made a lot of money was helping businesses find out about other businesses. And see, when a government, what people used when I first started to get business over, they'd go to a, Dow Jones, I mean, or the credit agencies and stuff like that for a history. Nah, I could find so much on a company because every company, I mean, you could like the credit, the stuff that I have to file for these credit people. I could lie for anything on this, about me or whatever. But the government, you can't lie, you go to jail. So the real information is their government form on anything like that. That's what you want to. So they all have to be registered somewhere. They all have to apply for something somewhere. And once they do, it's that. But I think the biggest opportunity for anybody in business is not grants. I mean, they certainly are. They're more and more every day because now local government officials and everything realize that this is the backbone of their economy, is small business. So they're giving out like that thing, why does LA give $10,000 for small businesses to get more Christmas sales? I never heard anything like that before in my life. But it's things like that that are happening. A lot of they call them Main Street programs. Like my daughter-in-law works with a small community up here, and she got 10, 20, $30,000 to help the small businesses on her Main Street, and that's from HUD. HUD gives a small business, So it's all this. It's called community development. And so that's why the best thing you want to do is not only the two things. Did I finish the thing about local assistance at SBA? Maybe not. But the 21, when you find those local assistance people, the best way to get the help is to make an appointment with them. All information is about getting belly to belly, talking to them personally on the phone, getting them to know you personally on the phone. We're all lazy, and most of my members want to just find the application to fill out, and that's not good because you're going to waste a lot of time. And the best way is to talk to people who know and to find out if it's worth it for you to apply. They know. They're giving out the money. You don't talk to anybody in the middleman, like me or whatever, because I'm not giving out the money. It doesn't matter what I say. You want to talk to the people giving out the money to see if it's worth it for you. Anybody else is bullshit. And the internet now is full of that stuff that you can't get over. And so the people giving out the money, they're public servants.
Yeah.
They law have to talk to you. But more importantly, they do have organizations within to do that. So they're set up to do that. Like that Find Help dot, I mean the Find Help dot too, but the SBA with local assistance, yeah, they all have consultants there to make an appointment with to find out the best things for you. Instead of finding some huckster like me, I say, maybe I don't really know. I don't do that. You talk to the people who know, and that's important. And to me, so they will help you not only with money, anything. You go to them, like want to look at your contract that you give them or something because you're a franchisor or something. You could take it to them and they get free legal help. You go bankrupt. My sister had a small business and financial trouble. Yeah, they help her get out of bankrupt, all for free. And
Nice.
things like that. And so it's technology help you want, personal help. Things change. They want you to grow because you as a small business, if you don't grow, then the community won't grow. And the community doesn't grow, it goes out of business. And that's why businesses create income, and gives wages and things like that, even if it's just a wage for you. It used to be they used to just worry about attracting big companies to leave some state to come to their state
Yeah.
and bring a shitload of jobs. But now, no, they're more interested because if they get 1,000 people starting a business, that's 1,000 jobs plus.
That's true. So your
That's
one tip
making
for your one
that
tip for
significant
beginners then is to get in front of the people. Don't just
yes.
go online and fill it out, but
No,
get in front of the right person.
get off find the right people, and the right people are a good place to start. Those websites they give you, call them up, and then if one doesn't work because you got it, like I have 20 different, I call 15 if that's what it takes to find somebody that will help you. Everybody has a different ideas and different opportunities maybe. So, and one person doesn't know it all. Like I work for the government, or I've been studying this for 50 years. I still don't know a whole lot. Don't
Yeah.
trust me, what I say, because there's so many opportunities, there's so many cracks, and that's what it is. An individual just gets one thing. I mean, like, and medicine's the same way. When they say this pill works, yeah, but it doesn't work for everybody. Right? That's why the doctor says, try this, doesn't work. Try this, that doesn't work.
So have you found that over the 50 years, especially after post-pandemic, has a financial assistant landscape changed a bit?
I feel that. And the one thing that changed to me before COVID, I used to have to explain that the government gives money. Because most people just know, well, we got the post office, right? We got the IRS, and that's about it. They knew that was the government.
Yeah,
And when all these checks start coming out, I mean, wow, the government gives money to anybody. All this money. And that made it easier for me. I thought after COVID too, my business would go down, but it didn't. It just educated people more for me to see. And see, what I fight is every Fortune 500 company uses this stuff. Every rich person uses the hell out of it, and the people who really need it don't know where it is, how to get it, or whatever. And then that to me could be immoral. I'm not a moralist, so I don't really know. I don't know what I should do that's immoral,
so
let alone tell anybody else.
Matthew, at what point in time then should somebody look to you for an assistance?
If you want to handhold a little, I mean, what we do, we have what I saw. See, when I started this, I've been doing this in many formats for
Mhm.
50 years. It hasn't been this. At the beginning, it was this, but to rich people, and they would pay, tens of thousands of dollars. So that was it. But then I got frustrated after many years, and that was my first $1 million business, and so I was very satisfied with that. But I said, boy, they don't even need help. It's not fun to help people who don't need help. I don't know about you. Yeah, I mean, you want to love, but you want to be loved back.
That helps. Yes.
Right. Exactly. So if you don't feel loved at all, it's a little slimy. So I want to help people really need help. And so how to do that? Well, I can't charge them, $200 an hour or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. And so I did books. So $30, $40 books kind of thing. And that did very well because it was mostly because of me learning to market them. But I always market. I mean, I just feel I have an item that uh, people need, and it's my uh, obligation to find out how to translate that to them. It's not their obligation to understand what I'm saying. It's my obligation to try to understand what I should be saying to them. Not that you stupid shit. Don't you see this?
Eric, that might work too. How many books have
Right.
you written so far?
Oh, about 100.
Good for you.
But only 10 made money.
It's good information that people have. You give people and you're helping people that need the help with the books that
Yeah.
you.
But that, yeah, and two were New York Times bestseller list. And for a kid who flunked college, English twice, that was a big feather in my
True.
hat. So that was fun. But it's all about, I was a professor too, in computer science. My MBA is in computers. And,
Cool.
and, and it was for adults coming back to get their degree. And it was a lot of night courses. And I said, God, the first thing I had to do is keep them up. I can't teach anybody anything if they're falling asleep in class. So that's where I saw, using your personality or to keep people up first. And that's what I see in marketing is that for me. Because I do TV commercials and all that kind of stuff. They never even saw the book and they buy these things just because of me. You know, uh,
Uh-huh.
never seen the book. It's not like a card or test driving a car or even going to the bookstore. No, they see me on TV, they buy the damn thing. And that was wonderful. But even though the millions and millions I've sold, I still then I know people weren't doing it. I mean, sort of like diet books. Everybody knows they need a diet, so we buy a diet book, and we never open it, let alone do anything. And that's what my books were like. So after I was thinking about another thing to do, because I really wanted, and I didn't care how successful it was, as long as I could feed myself, in the end of my life here, uh, and do something. And I was trying to figure, how do people buy it? It took me years and years to figure out. And now what I have is a community. So um, it's not me helping everybody because there's only so much time of me. So at $200 an hour, that could pay, not at $20 a month. That wouldn't pay. Uh,
Yeah.
so what it is a community of people that help each other about government grants.
Nice.
So, yeah, and that is, and I stumbled in. It wasn't a design or anything like that. You just go, oh, nothing else is working. I'll try this, and something leads to something, and
True.
it all evolves like that, and that's what it is, and that's so wonderful. And everybody now, the people who I didn't realize this. I mean, my joy in helping people is the selfishness you get from giving. I mean, because it feels so good, it's really a very selfish proposition. Me helping you is the most selfish thing I have to do. It's
Makes you
very
feel
selfish.
good. Yeah. Makes you feel good. That's
Right.
how did the question mark come about? The trademark
Oh,
question mark.
it's in my brain for many, many, many years. Never had the courage. I was a clothes horse, always dressed expensive clothes because that's what being fashionable is normally. And there was something, I don't know if you're old enough to know Andy Granatelli. This is back in the 50s. Okay. He's a race car guy
Hmm.
and he ran STP. And I remember watching a race in maybe probably the 50s and him walking around with a whole suit with STPs on it. His logo. I said, oh, that's sort of neat. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love dressing a little different and stuff like that. And it took me a lot of courage. And I was always into information. I had software companies and trying to get information to management to make decisions. That was my life being. And I always thought now that information was becoming more and more, it was easy to get information. The hard part with all this information is asking the right questions. So that's the key in life is not getting an answer. You get a million answers to anything now, but you got to ask the right question. That's the important thing. But now, and I did that maybe 20 years, but now I'm into more things. Maybe, I don't know. Oh, that's still
Look at that.
questions.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. But see, the hearts. I'm now into hearts because even though you have the right answer,
Yeah.
if your heart's not in it, you ain't going to do shit.
Yep.
Because all the life is so well, it beats you up, and you're going to get beat up out there. And so and even if you get the best advice in the world, you're still going to get beat up and things aren't going to work. And you have to get through all that. And you're not going to get through that by just having the right answers or the right information. You got the heart to go through. You have to want to do it. And that's, and the experts won't tell you that because they want to tell you that you need expert opinion and they have to convince you that they're right because they could charge more.
That's
When
it.
in fact, they're guessing.
So it sounds like your heart's in it, which why you can do it forever because it's not work.
Absolutely.
It's just fun. You just help people out and you just
Right.
enjoy it.
Right. And that's it.
Right.
By the way, one thing I want to
Yeah.
make sure your people know is
Mhm.
what's better than government grants is government contracts. And this is phenomenal. Uh, it is, see, a government grant, you get 10 grand or maybe 50 grand or whatever. That's one time. Okay. Or maybe, I mean, you get a couple hundred grand or whatever. You get a contract and you have to learn how to do it, right? But you get a contract, you learn how to do that, and it grows and grows and grows and grows. See, and like my sister, she was framing plaques for the government in a garage in Virginia somewhere, $1 million just framing stuff for the government. And to do that, again, you don't go to Google. You go to this website. It's called Apex, APEX. And let me make sure I get it right. APEX Accelerator. Okay. ACCELLERATOR. Apex Accelerator .us. Okay. You want to go there.
Mhm.
And that's, again, free consultants that will take you through the process, help you with the forms. Like you're going to go to Google, you're going to get some, salesman. We do all that for you, and give me $10,000, please. Thank you. Whatever they could get. I mean, that's what information is. It's a function of what you could get. It's not like building a car. You have cost of goods sold, stuff like that. You don't have that in consulting. You just got you. Um, so the supply and demand works that. Uh, but so that's all free consultants. They know the inside. They've helped dozens and hundreds of people like you to do that. They even have grants to help you figure out how to get contracts. I mean, that's amazing.
I love it. That's just too cool.
Exactly. I mean, that's why you can't make up this stuff. And that's why I can't make it up. I just read headlines and say, oh, wow.
That's true. So, Matthew, tell me, what is the one piece of advice that you'd give to someone seeking financial support for the first time?
Your heart's smarter than your brain.
Good advice?
Yeah, you got to follow that guy because none of us know what to do in life and we're all scared. I am. I mean, I don't know what works or anything. And so we're always looking for advice and think everybody else, but I mean, that's important because you want to make sure you're not falling off a cliff or doing something really stupid. Uh, but to make things happen, you have to listen to your heart. And if your heart's not in it, you probably won't make it happen.
Very true. I love that. That is excellent advice because then if your heart's in it, you don't work a day in your life. It's just a whole lot of
Exactly.
fun. A
Exactly.
whole lot of
And
fun.
that's the key. And to me, the key is to find out, and to find something that your heart's in, I think you have to find out what you are really special at in a way, because you could be better than anybody else if you're special. Yeah. And trying to copy somebody else's special, you can't do that. They're more unique at that. So you have to dig down like me. Making a fool out of myself on TV is my specialty. But I got no encouragement to do that because it didn't fit in the system. I was thrown out of class all the
That's too funny. Funny.
time.
So we're going to send people over to findhelp.org.
Right. No, no, find help. Yeah, that's the free place.
That's a
Mine
free
is
place. And
less
then we're going to also go to sba.gov/ local dash assistance,
right,
and then apexaccelerator.us.
right.
And then if
And
they're totally lost at that point in
right.
time, where do they find you?
Find help. No.
You.
Let's go help. You want let's go help.com.
Let'sgohelp.com. Okay.
Uh,
Let me put that down. Let'sgohelp.com.
you bet.
Is that the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, the other things, but there's lots
Well,
of.
any last words of wisdom? Anything that I should have asked that I didn't?
And thanks for having me. And there's so many opportunities out there. Just be careful. Just try to stay on Google and try stuff. The only way you're going to get to what you want is doing a lot of bad stuff first. Stuff that doesn't work. So don't spend money trying, and because you have all these places to do it for free.
So all those, I will have those listed down below there, as well as letsgohelp.com. Be sure and reach out to Matthew. If you start getting frustrated, don't know where to go, need some help, Matthew's been doing this for over 50 years. He will know. So let me know how you feel about Matthew in the notes. Share this with other friends. Click on like if you do. And do not hesitate for your free money, government grants, government assistance, government contracts, even better. You got to reach
Uh,
out to Matthew Lesko. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right. Matthew, thank you very much for being on the show today.
My pleasure. Good to talk to you. Take care.